It is International Workers' Day. Here at home, trade unions are hosting rallies across different parts of South Africa. COSATU is hosting its main rally in Middelburg in Mpumalanga, and this is where Ziniko Mhlaba is. Ziniko, good morning again. Any indication as to when things might get underway?
Yes, man, we do have an idea. I can tell you right now that, for the past hour or so, the facilitators of the program have been asking people to move inside the venue because we are about to start anytime soon. We are just awaiting for the official arrival of the leaders who will be the guest speakers, but also submitting their messages of support. But to get more sense now in terms of how ready are we to go, I'm joined now by the spokesperson of COSATU, Zanele Sabela, who I'm bringing in right now. Spokesperson, thank you very much, Ms. Sabela, for your time. When are we going to start? We've been preparing to start now. When are we likely to start? But also some breaking news, the DA is taking to court the employment equity law. What is your response as COSATU to that?
Okay, well,
start with the first one.
They're saying we're starting in 10 minutes.
Okay, we are starting in 10 minutes. Let's go to the DA challenge, court challenge.
So the DA challenge, we're quite surprised actually. The DA is part of the GA. And for it to jump on this bandwagon of wanting to challenge the Employment Equity Act is actually quite disappointing for us. The DA knows as much as everybody else that the constitution of this country says the wrongs of the past must be righted. And so that's exactly what the Employment Equity Act does in terms of that. And we'll see that in South Africa still 60% of top management positions still belong to white people, where else, the majority of the workers, about 81% are black, colored, and Indian. But then they are very, their representation at top level is about 17%. And so you can see that disparities of apartheid are still continuing today. It needs this law is actually as old as our democracy, and so it needs to be tightened. And there's been concessions in that, the regulations are not as stringent for SMMEs, because everyone will complain about SMMEs and we say they create jobs, but then we can't put that administrative burden on them. But the other companies must definitely comply.
I mean, should they continue and get to court? Can you expect COSATU to challenge or to be responded to vent the law, but also maybe politically within the GNU? Have you had a conversation with the government in terms of trying to ensure that whatever DA is concerned about is addressed within the GNU?
We challenge them. We dare them to go to court. Actually, they're going next week Tuesday. We're saying yeah, because when they go, then it will be clear once and for all. It will be clear they must verify it constitutionally, and so when they win, when the law wins out, then it will be clear that we should stop having these conversations over and over again. What needs to be done needs to be done. Companies need to make sure that their staff complement reflects the demographic of this country.
I mean, we are hearing the sirens now of the president. Apparently. Talk to us about the importance of this 2025 Workers' Day in context of what has been happening in the country, the issues of VAT, issues of GNU. How important is this gathering for COSATU, but also you've invited the ANC president, the ACCP president for the alliance. How crucial is this day?
It is very crucial. May Day is a day that workers fought very hard for, and they have won because now it's a holiday and workers are actually able to gather here and celebrate this day. But then as much as, we have many victories to speak about, that our labor laws are very progressive. We speak about, the right to unionize, the right to collective bargaining, the right to strike if we're very unhappy. The Employment Equity Act, the Minimum Wage Act, the COIDA and UIF. so you'll see that there's a lot to celebrate, but in terms of that, there also, in terms of challenges, we need to make sure that employers comply with these laws. And so to have this gathering here and have the ANC president here in the era of the GNU, it is very significant, and it's very important that we hear what he has to say to the workers. And then, of course, our own President Ziniko will also be giving a keynote.
We know now that the budget will be tabled in Parliament on the 21st. Are you happy as the Federation in terms of what has been agreed on by the partners? Do you have some concerns?
So for us, you saw when the ruling of the court came out that everyone was claiming this victory, all the political parties, but ultimately the winners are South Africans, because we did not want that VAT hike. And so the fact that it's not happening is really, really, but crucial for COSATU is to make sure that when now the budget is tabled, please, the Minister of Finance mustn't take away the wins that were for workers and that public sector wage increase. Please, we still want it. We want the grants. They were going up to account for inflation. We still want them. We are crying about the SRD grant that it isn't going up, and so we want those very same. The fact that SARS was given 4 billion to continue the work that it's doing to collect more, and we've seen how they've brought in 9 billion, so we're happy about that, and we want the progressive things that government have brought onto the budget not to go away.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Imad. That's Zanele Sabela there talking to us about the importance of this day. But as you heard there, we are likely going to start any time right now. There is a convoy of the president just behind the stage, just waiting for him to step outside and make his way there. But you also see the General Secretary of the South African Communist Party. We are expecting them now to make their way onto the podium, and of course that will be signaling the official start of the proceedings here in Standerton in Ermelo, as COSATU is celebrating May Day, or commonly known here in South Africa as the Workers' Day.